Eagles National Football Show. Appreciate you guys coming aboard. Please hit the like button. Chris Jones versus Nick Bosa. Was Bosa a challenge for the Eagles to control? By the way, let's take a look at this. Who have been the top flight defensive players that the Eagles have had to play against this year? Some of those kids at Jacksonville were pretty good. They controlled them. Minnesota doesn't really have anyone special, I don't think. Detroit had Aiden Hutchinson. He had a great year. Simmons of the Titans, for sure. Jonathan Allen. Washington did a number on the Eagles in the second game. They didn't control them in the second game. They stuffed the run in the second game. Washington is the only team to beat up the Eagles' O-line in the second game. They beat them up. The interior tackles won that game. It's the only game that the Eagles lost in the O-line trenches was Washington. They have the talent, though. Washington has two of the best defensive tackles in the game. Okay? Anybody else? You don't, and I think they handled, to some extent, Nick Bosa. Can I tell you what I thought Bosa was doing too? I thought Bosa was coming in and out of the game pretending to limp because Lane was kicking his ass. And because he was playing, but how many times did he go in and out? I didn't know he was hurt going into the game. All of a sudden he got dinged up in the game. Looked to me like those like he was shot in the sky by a sniper or something. And you know what the sniper injury is? Oh, yeah, because you're getting abused. I think Lane hurt his pride, not his hamstring. And to me, we all know this. Well, you could take it from Big Sills. I'm with you. You could tell when a guy's going, damn, this guy's great. I got to pretend like I'm playing hurt. And he did. Hey, Bosa made that tackle behind the line of scrimmage. NFL first ruled it a sack. Then they put it as a TFL. He did get a TFL on him. He did a nice job early in the game. But I thought pretty much they controlled him. But he had 2 tackles for losses. Okay? He had a couple tackles for loss. So, Micah Parsons, they owned. Oh, well, Jack Driscoll got in. So, this kid, Chris Jones, I think is great. I'm going to tell you something here. Chris Jones is going to line up over Kelsey and Seumalo. And I'll tell you what, Seumalo's a free agent. If he beats that guy's ass into the ground, he going to make a ton of money. And you're not going to want to let him go. What if Seumalo destroys him in this game? Are you going to let a 27-year-old kid walk out of the building because you know his value is $11 million? That might be a market steal. You better not let him. If he kills that guy, I'll tell you something, man. I thought Armstead was going to handle Seumalo. Seumalo crushed him. And that allowed Kelsey to get up on the scoop and slip on the backers. They were blowing those middle. Gainwell and Sanders weren't touched at times in the second half. Okay? If Isaac's, you know what his agent's telling Isaac Seumalo right now? Dude, you beat up this guy here, and after taking care of the Giants all-pro tackle, remember, he took care of the Giants all-pro tackle. So if you take care of Chris Jones, what's his name, Dexter Lawrence, and you beat up Dexter Lawrence, you're going to make $15 million a year. You're going to be the highest paid free agent offensive lineman next to the kid from I think the kid from the Falcons is like the third or fourth. He's going to make a mint. A mint. Dude, Sayamalo is playing himself into a position that's forcing Howie to make rough cuts. Listen, you got a chance to win the Super Bowl, and you're going against another elite tackle. You beat up Lawrence, man. Did you guys think Dexter Lawrence was a factor in the playoff game? He was right on him. He lined up right over him. I didn't hear a word from him. Did you guys hear anything about Dexter Lawrence? Right? He lined up right over him. Tone goes, I didn't even notice him on the field. Huge win. Money win. Free agent win. I have never seen more free agents have such amazing seasons in contract years in all of my years playing and covering this league. I've never seen Bradbury, CJ, TJ, Sayamalo, Sanders, Jesus criminy, career years. You never see new faces. What's the mantra when you're building a team? You never, ever have a lot of turnover. You know why? The teams that don't have a lot of turnover are traditionally the teams that are set. I've never seen more new faces roll into a new place and win, not win, championship winning. You guys got C.J. Gardner-Johnson 9 days before the damn start of the season. He led the league in interceptions. I'm sorry I'm laughing. I'm sorry I'm laughing. I am. I'm sorry I'm laughing because right? Dude, he's going to make a ton of dough. If he beats Chris Jones, what's he got, 15 and a half sacks? You know, I love when people are going, hey, did you see that Kansas City stopped the run? And you know what the dumb pundits are doing now? Listen, so the dumb pundits would have you believe this. Hey, Kansas City did a great job stopping the run of Cincinnati. Cincinnati had 3 replacements in the O-line in that AFC Championship game. They didn't even have their starters in. And you held them? Well, hey, welcome to the game. You're supposed to hold them when backups are in. I mean, to me, that was the difference in the game. Mixon couldn't get established. Play action wasn't there. And Burrow had to kind of force some throws in there. I was like, well, wait a minute. So? Second team guys. There were 3 of them in the O-line. And I'm supposed to think Kansas City had a breakout game in their front 7? Not me. I don't buy that. You were going against the scrubs of the Bengals. I was like, I don't know about you, but I went like this. I don't know. I'm not impressed. I wasn't impressed with Kansas City's defense. Plus, you got 2 rookies on the corners, and you got another rookie in the secondary on safety position. Dude, okay. Hey, keep selling the game. I know you got to sell it because that's your job. Not here, man. Dude, not here. You're not selling me that. You better show me something. Now, you start talking Kelsey versus the Eagle linebackers, and Mahomes has got to move around. My question would be, can he? You don't have a running game. Dude, if Hassan Reddick and that group doesn't have to worry about the run, how do you feel about going into can you imagine this? So you're going to go into a fight with a guy who doesn't have a jab. And if all he does is throw haymakers, and you could duck the haymakers. That's all he has is haymakers. How you feel about your chances of winning that fight? I think pretty good. So all he has is just throwing haymakers. He'll tire himself out. I'll beat his ass. Later rounds, he's knocked out. Isn't that what Ali did to Foreman? I don't see it. That's it right there, Ernest. Eagle stop Kelsey. This thing's, I disagree. It ain't close. I don't see it. So if you don't get Kelsey going, Juju Smith-Schuster is going to beat the Eagle secondary? Pacheco? If Hurts wins, how much would you honestly pay him? Ugh. Man, I hate going there because I don't like paying these guys. How about hey, Figueroa, how about we do this? I'm going to compromise with you guys because I don't want to talk shit on the kid. Okay, all that. See what Neil just said, $50 million? 65% of your team will be whacked in the offseason if you do that. You only get $7 million under the cap, dude. With the current team you have. Where are you getting $50 million from? Where are you getting the other 43 from? Where are you getting that? You're only going to be $7 million under the cap with the projected $16 million increase in the cap. Where are you getting that from? It's like monopoly money. It ain't happening. Here, I would not pay him over 3 years. You can figure out a number after that. Is that fair? You can figure a number. We'll figure a number out after the Super Bowl. Figueroa goes, you think he'll take 35? Figueroa, the left tackle for the 49ers, Trent Williams makes $28 million. You're going to pay him left tackle money? Hey, I'm going to pay you Trent Williams money. Yeah. 5 years, $200 million. Never happened. No way. Plus, he hasn't played that well in the exhibition season. Or he hasn't played that well in the postseason. Trent Williams' salary for 2023.
According to Spitrack.com.
Yeah, right here. Here it is. Here it is. 27.1 million dollars. Lane makes 14. You can't tag Hurts. He's got another year on his contract. You can't tag him. You can't tag him. Again, I'm not, all of those ridiculous numbers, 5 years, $250 million, never happen. If you do, you'll never win. You'll annihilate your team. And all the things and all the hard work you put in, evaporated. Sayamalo gone. Sanders gone. CJ gone. TJ gone. All of them. 35 per is low. You got to hope Hurts takes less money. You got to hope he wants to invest in a. Here, I'm going to give you the Brady. He needs his team, those sales. No way he does this alone. He's not. Figueroa, perfectly said and perfectly correct. I'm going to tell you what Brady did that made it so incredibly why he lasted. And wait, okay, this is why he, okay, so wait a minute. You see what Matt says? He won't take less. Well, he's not going to win like Brady then. Here's what Brady did. Brady was smart enough. Let's see what Tone says here. 40 million versus 45 versus 50. It's all life-changing money regardless. Hurts knows he didn't get here by himself. He will be smart. Plus, you know what that does too? Here's something too. Think about this, Tone. Everyone, you have your star on your team taking less money. It becomes the Eagle way. You want to win a championship? You come to Philly. You want to go to New England with Patriots and Brady? You win a championship. It's not about getting market value at each position. It sends vibes down to the other positions too. If the quarterback's willing to take a $5 to $7 million pay cut, why wouldn't the left tackle? Why wouldn't a safety? Why wouldn't? That's why Rodgers has effed up Green Bay beyond recognition. $60 million. They couldn't even keep the top wide receiver in the league. And one of the reasons that health thing fell to shit, he saw that was a money grab by Rodgers, not a win move. But he's always been that. You see, the magic and the secret sauce to Brady was always this. Shit, Brady took less money because you know what he did? Brady reinvested in himself. Brady looked at it this way. Follow me, guys. Brady looked at it like this, okay? Because he was never the highest paid player in the league, ever in his time. I think maybe until he got to Tampa. Yeah, I think they pay him like $45 million or some shit like that one year down in Tampa. They gave him a whole shitload of money at the front end, and they like backloaded everything with like super cheap money, gave him it all front, or they front-ended the money. And as he got towards the end, he was making like $25 million this year or some shit because he took big money at the beginning. But this is what Brady did in New England. As long as you're reinvesting the $10 million that I'm not taking in a tackle, a corner. By the way, you ever notice? They never invested in skilled players. They never dropped a ton of money in skilled guys except for Gronk. Name me one guy they dropped money on. Who? In Brady's entire time in New England. I mean, this guy was throwing to people from Worcester. Right? I mean, this guy's throwing from people from Worcester and Fitchburg. I mean, there were what was that guy's name? Chris Hogan? Never paid Edelman. Never paid Amendola. May have helped out Welker. That Chris Hogan guy, who's he? He played like lacrosse or some shit. Never paid AB in New England. He got his money with the Raiders, got fired, and they brought him in on a cheap deal. Then they blew his ass out after the Miami game. Shit, man. He never made big money in Tampa. He made like $3 million a year down there. Moss never got money. Moss was traded for a 6th-round pick out of Syracuse, a corner that they sent to the Raiders, and they sent his ass back, and he was making dog shit money. When Moss wanted money, they traded him. Shit, I think they traded him back to Minnesota. Chris Hogan was good? Really? It's funny, when Brady left, I never heard of the kid. Chris Hogan was good. Really? What was his career after Brady left? I haven't. What Chris Hogan was good? Okay. Chris who? Mass is not. It's not the point. It's a blueprint. If you take a boatload of, it's going to be the Philly way, dude. Man, some of the people in Philly, man, are just so sensitive. I mean, it's just crazy when you say shit and stupid shit like that. It's a benchmark. It's a copycat league. You ever hear of that? Try using that. So what you do is, if the quarterback takes less money, it's going to send shockwaves to the entire roster. And guess what Howie gets to do? Howie gets to look at Jalen Hurts and go, this is how I would present it to Jalen. I'd go to him and go, we want to be business partners with you. Which means this. Okay? This is what I want to do with you. We're going to offer you 3 years of a contract. Say it's 40. We're going to guarantee every cent of it. Do you think you could probably get 5 or 6 more million? Sure. But that 15 million will keep AJ Brown in the building. And we want to keep the team around you. Jalen, do you want us to pay you? I would present it like this. Do you want us to pay you? Or do you want us to take money from the rest of the team to pay you? It's up to you. We have parameters. We have guardrails. It's called a salary cap. This is not loving you or hating you. This is strictly business. And I would be as transparent as that and say, tell us what you want to do. We want to have a business decision with you. And by the way, when things from now on, when we're talking about the future of a particular player on the team, especially offensively, okay? Especially offensively, we want your input. We're going to make what's best decision for the organization because Howie's not going to turn anything over to anybody and give them dual ability to make a call. It's going to come down to him. This is his game. But he's going to go like this because Jeffrey Lurie's probably going to go like this. Present this to him. Jalen, we have parameters. And I know Clutch wants you to have the most money. So do we. But doesn't it make sense for us to do this? We win for the next 7 years. You make all this money, or we pay you, and you got less of a team. You have some losing seasons, and you don't maximize what made Brady made $400 million. He made $400 million. What quarterback in the NFL has made $400 million taken less? People don't report that part of this. Brady made $400 million. Could he have made probably another 50? Yeah. Neil goes, it's all gone now. It's okay. Fox will take care of it. He signed a 10-year, $375 million deal. Don't worry, Neil. He'll get it back. Okay? That's, to me, how they're going to present this. Then they'll work. See, you guys are thinking about the number. They've got to think about, see, Howie doesn't think about, Howie's already on 2025. He's already on 2025 how this team's going to look with Jalen. Okay? You can't look at Mahomes' $500 million deal. Oh, by the way, Jess. No, Jess. You know what? I asked Lee, we should get Lee Steinberg on. Lee, how'd you construct that $500 million deal? Lee's a dear. I go to a Super Bowl, or I'm invited to a Super Bowl party every year. And how'd you construct that deal? We gave the Chiefs every off-ramp they could. Anyway, we gave them the ability to restructure incentives, signing bonuses, roster bonuses, workout bonuses, everything. We gave, because we're so confident that Mahomes is going to hit all of his incentives, and so are the Chiefs. The Chiefs go like this, man, we'll just give him $10 million on the roster bonus. He's going to be here. He's not going anywhere. So they give it to him because you know why? As this contract continues, look at the equity that Mahomes builds up. Mahomes has built up this equity with his performance, his durability. So you feel cool going, well, I'm not going to sit here and have this on my cap when I could just give it to him and have that off the cap. That's the kind of relationship. Mahomes has built the same relationship in Kansas City with Clark Hunt that Brady built in New England with Kraft. And you see guys like Mask who sit there and go, 50 million, 5. You build that relationship, you'll lose. You want to have the relationship that Mahomes has with Clark Hunt and Brady had. It's funny. He goes, that's old time. Why? Mahomes is doing it. It's not old school thinking. Mahomes did it. Steinberg told me. I'm going to get his ass on. Steinberg has the same relationship with Mahomes and Clark Hunt that Brady had with Don Yee and also with Bob Kraft. That whole thing has to work. And the way it started, get this. How about this? That's right. Relationship first, then you can figure out the details. Cody, boom! Patriot. Here's something I tell people all the time when you're getting into broadcasting or anything else. You ready for this? Don't be a start gate guy. Be a finish line guy. Don't worry about the start gate, because if you grab the money at the start gate, there'll be no money at the finish line. It'll be less. It always is, right? Sills, what would your career be like? You played Philly with JB and Reggie. The coaching they had, you wouldn't have had a president 20, 30 years later coming out saying, we destroyed your career. Fly. President of the Falcons, who was a GM of the Bucs at the time, admitted screwing my career up. That's what it would have been. See, guys, worry about the details of the contract after you work on the relationship and the parameters of how you're going to make this relationship work. Lee said this. Here, you guys remember, what was it? What was the year that the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl to the Bucs? Was that 20? Okay, was that 20? What year was it that they lost to the Bucs? What was the year? '21. Okay. Remember what they did? They gutted the entire old line, brought in Orlando Brown. From Baltimore. Okay? Gutted it. Couldn't afford all them guys. And Mahomes signs a contract, I think it was in January. He restructured his contract 2 months later for him so they could get Brown in the building. They kept doing that the whole time. See, Kyler Murray, he's too much of an idiot. By the way, personally, you want to hear this? I think Shane Steichen's getting that job. I think Shane Steichen's the only guy that could save Kyler Murray, because he'll build the same kind of offense in Philadelphia and Arizona. If you bring a traditional offensive coordinator as head coach into that Arizona Cardinal, you'll never save you'll never save Kyler Murray. And you're not going to get him back until October of next year. Okay? You're not going to get him back. He's the only guy that can construct an offense that's kind of like a schoolyard. But get this. I look at Kyler Murray. You think Kyler Murray is as smart as Jalen Hurts? If I was Kyler Murray, I would call Jalen Hurts in the offseason, and I'd say, let's work out together. Let me pick your brain. Let me see what you did. Let me see how you worked it. And if Shane is my coach, help me out, because they'll be pretty much running the same shit in Philly next year. Let me work. Those two guys should work out. They're both OU guys. They should have no problem with that. They should work out he should beg to work out with Jalen. And hopefully some of the good vibe rubs off on him, because he's got a lot of work, Kyler Murray. He's got a lot of ability, but he's got a ton of work ahead of him. Ton of work. And if they end up losing DeAndre Hopkins, he's got even more responsibility. Okay? Hey, Jalen's going to be maybe, I remember, hey, I know some of you media guys who watch the show in Philly hate when I said that Jalen was working out with Tom House and that all my friends saw him at T. Mussolini's restaurant. And I said, hey, he's working out with Tom House. I was the first guy to report that he was working out with Brady's coach. And everyone's like, no, he's not. He's not out there. It came out he was. My friend saw him at T. Mussolini's, and T. Mussolini's a friend of mine. He owns a restaurant. And My wife and I have been there. My wife loves Teemu Selanne. And he was at Teemu Selanne's. Tone goes, you sure were the first. I remember that. I reported that Jalen was working out with Tom House. Of course, Mask. I was probably the 50th guy to you, but it's all good. Hey, I'm sure Philly guys are all over Southern California and La Jolla. Oh, probably right on it. Let me guess. Who? Tolentino probably. No. Paulie Shore was probably right on it. Hey, Yale goes 50 goal scorer. Hey, Yale, you might want to take a look at Teemu Selanne's first year. Hey, hey, Yale. Okay, he was in Winnipeg. His rookie year. You tell me what the rookie record in the NHL is, and you do me a favor, look it up. Okay. Teemu Selanne's rookie year with the Winnipeg Jets, how many goals did he score? I think you'll get a kick out of it. I was like, what? He never got close to it again. EQ and Sills, your passion lately leads me to believe you are now an Eagle fan. Your passion about the game mixed with us. Perfect match. Hey, EQ, how many people do you know in Philly that piss you off that you're best friends? Okay? We still hang out. Razor 76. He had 76 goals his rookie year at Winnipeg. $76 goals his rookie season. Josh Allen signed a 6-year, $258 million contract with Buffalo. Don't look at his contract. Okay? Average salary of $43 million. Okay, that sounds 43. Jalen? By the way, I hate to do this to you guys. I predicted he's going under the knife with a rotator cuff surgery. They're going to use that against him to bring that number down. Be second year in a row he's had surgery. Okay? The reason I bring that up is because it's going to be brought up. It's not wishful thinking. And please, do me a favor, the ones that are smart. By the way, thank you very much for the 20. That's really spectacular of you. Please always know this. I would never root for anybody to be hurt. Why would I ever want to hurt or wish for Jalen to get hurt? He's a polarizing story now. He's great for my show. You think I want to cover Gardner Minshew? Okay. Oh, Brett Hall was, or Bobby Hall was spectacular. I'm friends with Phil Esposito. Obviously, I worked in Tampa 15 years. And Phil and Tony brought Bobby in numerous times, and I got a chance. I'm sitting in a room with Bobby Hull, Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito, and Tony Esposito. And what was the captain of the Lightning when they won their first cup? Guy from Buffalo Sabres. God. Oh, I forget his name. Shit. God, I hate when I forget a name like that. Captain of the Bolts, the first cup, when they had LeCavier and St. Louis. Kills me, man. He was the captain. He played the blue line. Or he was the center. Nah, Stamkos was after. I was there when Stamkos was drafted. I was also there when LeCavier got drafted. Sales is Will Anderson worth trading up for? I think you need a corner. Oh, God, I hate that. It'll drive me nuts. That'll drive me nuts. Captain of the Lightning, their first cup. I hate when I forget a name. Nah, LeCavier was the He was the first 50-goal scorer there. It's funny, the year they won the cup, the first cup, the guy who was the superstar, the MVP, and the Art Ross winner, it was St. Louis. Keith Anderchuk. Or Dave Anderchuk. Thank you, Ryan. Ah! Oh, I love Dave Anderchuk. Way to go, Ryan. Dave Anderchuk. That's right. That's right. So hey, back to what we were saying. The relationship is, do we agree? The numbers, man, we can fill the numbers in. But what you want to do is build on the relationship. Let's take a time out. Please hit the like button. I want to hit on Tom Brady for a second. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. I want to throw this at you. Can you tell me a Tom Brady moment you remember? Can you? Can you remember a Tom Brady moment? Like a walk-off moment? Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football.